Hi again, in this video I will be installing the crankshaft. There's a couple of things I'll have to put into the block before the crankshaft goes on, so come with me and find out. You have to make sure the inside of the block is clean and dry, so I use two rags. The first one to clean the inside and the second one I am cleaning where the bearings will be placed. There's two bearings to be installed, the connecting rod or conrod bearing and the main bearing. I'm now drying the conrod and the main bearing caps. It's important to remember that the main bearing and conrod cap seats have to be clean and dry. Installing the bearings is easy. You just put it in place and gently press down on one side and it'll fit in. Once you've installed all the conrod and main bearings into the bearing seats, you can place your crankshaft in. I then put the bearings into the main bearing caps and I'm now putting on the caps onto the crankshaft. Make sure to pour oil before you install the caps. Be sure to oil your main bearing cap bolts before you put them in place. This is the torque specs for the main bearing and conrod. This is the conrod cap with the conrod bearing installed in it. Again, remember to place some oil on the crankshaft before installing your bearing cap. You'll notice there are two pistons that are not in place. You turn the engine sideways and gently tap it and it will come up and you can install the caps then. One of the bearings came out of its place, so I used a flat screwdriver to gently tap it back into place. Next, you want to hand tight on all the bolts for the main bearing and conrod. Use a spanner or socket to tighten it. What I'm holding now is a special tool called a torque wrench. The torque wrench is used to tighten bolts to its factory specs. All engines have their own specs, so you'll have to look up online your engine's make and model and get its specs. There is a torque sequence that you have to follow. As you can see, I am using the torque sequence to tighten all the bolts. All this information I've shared with you is online, so if there's any questions you have, please ask Google. Once the main and conrod bearings have been torqued, the engine will be assembled and ready to install. I stopped filming. I have kids, so I'm sorry if I cut out some stuff. Oh, before I go, make sure to check that your crankshaft is rotating freely. Thanks for watching.